All right, let's also now give you some breaking news that has come in from the Indian state of Tamil Nadu, where about 30 people are reportedly dead and several more are injured after a stampede broke out during the actor-turned-politician and TVK chief Vijay's campaign rally in the state of Tamil Nadu's Karur area. Now, the Prime Minister has also offered his condolences to the people who have ended up losing their lives. The Indian Prime Minister has put out a tweet, and I quote him here: "The unfortunate incident during a political rally in Karur, Tamil Nadu is deeply saddening. My thoughts are with the families who've lost their loved ones, wishing strength to them in this difficult time and praying for a swift recovery to all those who are injured." Now, the incident has forced the actor-turned-politician to temporarily pause his speech as several attendees fainted amid the severe overcrowding that was witnessed during the rally. Now, the crowd, of course, grew increasingly dense. There were several party workers and children who reportedly fainted due to the pressure of the gathering, prompting Vijay to halt his address and to call for calm, while also urging his supporters to make way for emergency ambulances to reach those in need. And my colleague Siddharth MP is, of course, joining us from Chennai in Tamil Nadu with more updates. Siddharth, when we last spoke with you, the death toll was 10, but now the death toll has gone up to 30. What is the latest that's happening there? There seems to be a bit of an issue in connecting with my colleague Siddharth MP. We'll try to reconnect with my colleague Siddharth MP in just a bit, but these are some of the images from the scene where the stampede took place. It was a political rally that was taking place in an area called Karur in Tamil Nadu, where a lot of people had in fact gathered for Vijay's rally. Remember, he's of course taken a plunge into politics, and he'd been drawing huge amount of crowds over the course of his rallies, and this is what has unfolded this evening, though, where because of the poor crowd control, there are at least 30 people who ended up losing their lives, and there are still many more who have been admitted into hospital whose condition is said to be pretty precarious. And we're of course awaiting for more details on that pretty tragic and a sad incident that has unfolded this evening in Karur region in Tamil Nadu. All right, I am told that we have my colleague Siddharth MP with us. Siddharth, if you are able to hear me, this is what I was asking. The death toll when we spoke earlier was about 10, and now the death toll has jumped up to 30. What is the latest in terms of what is happening in that political rally, which has ended up with a stampede?
Yes, indeed, Mohammed Saleh. Let me start by saying that it's absolutely tragic what's gone on, and our prayers go out to the victims and their families, because initially, as you pointed out, when we first spoke, it was 10. But even then, there were serious concerns raised, even by the health minister, that the death toll could go higher, because many of those who were initially brought to the hospital were brought dead. And there was this apprehension that all those who follow as well could not, make it alive. So this is the major concern that has been prevailing there. And a lot of them, were dehydrated. They were caught in the stampede. So there was also no way for ambulances to go and then reach the nearest hospital. So this was the situation that prevailed. And even the hospitals, to be frank, were overwhelmed with the kind of influx of patients, because this is a Saturday evening. Naturally, not all hospitals in a small town like that would be, a small district like that, would be kind of equipped to handle such kind of an influx all of a sudden. So that was one of the issues that were faced by the people on ground who are tending to the situation. In addition to that, let's also keep in mind that this is an event where at least lakhs of people were attending as per the estimates and as per what we see from the visuals that have unfolded there. So clearly there has been a lot of lapses, and there was no time for any reaction, because by the time people could be taken to hospitals, most of them had succumbed to their injuries or to the kind of situation that they found themselves in. So this is the tragedy, and even now we're getting information from those on the ground that it's likely that the numbers could go up. God forbid this should not happen, but unfortunately that seems to be the condition. There could be numbers rising, the death toll could further go up. And also Chief Minister M.K. Stalin right now is holding an urgent review meeting in Chennai in the aftermath of this incident. So this is what's happened over the last couple of hours. It's just been over 2 hours, and then the death toll has, grown rapidly from 10 to almost over 30 now. So really concerning situation. And
Right.
we'll have to hear from the government on what is the next update, because as far as the numbers are concerned, there is no concrete data available because
Right.
it's a rapidly evolving situation. Mohammed.
Indeed, it is a rapidly evolving situation, but this was not a situation that could not have been foreseen because Siddharth, the fact that massive crowds were congregating to see their film star turned politician Vijay to attend his rallies is not something new, because earlier in the month, in a rally that took place in Tiruchi, again, there was a massive crowd that had gathered. There was, in fact, a traffic jam that was reported, where a 20-minute ride apparently was taking almost about 6 hours. This is the number of people who, in fact, gathered to try and get a glimpse of their superstar turned politician Vijay. With that being the past history of thousands of people turning up to see Vijay and to attend his political rallies, why is it that adequate preparations for crowd control were not put in place?
What we're given to understand based on initial information is that there's been a huge mismatch between the crowd estimates that were expected and the crowd that in fact turned up. So what we must see is that in Vijay's political campaigning thus far, in a couple of occasions, he's actually campaigned on a weekday. And on those weekdays itself, the crowd swelled to unimaginable levels. But now he's taken a decision that he will campaign only on weekends, and that too on Saturdays. So naturally, when the weekday crowd itself is very high in an open ground, in a city, in chock-a-block traffic, in roads, inside the city or inside a district, it's expected that the crowds will swell further. And the problem is that they're going to be densely packed. In an open ground, you could say there are buffer areas or there are areas where people can actually move around. But it's not the case in a narrow city road or in a narrow district road where people have nowhere to go, nowhere to move. Because we know how the district roads are. They're barely 30 feet or 40 feet in width. So in such kind of roads, it's kind of tough to also accommodate as many people. Certainly it's a lapse, there's no doubt about it, there's no two ways about it, because if so many lakhs of people are being allowed to gather at one particular place and gather there for several hours at a stretch, there are likelihood of, absolute catastrophes like this unfolding. It's sad that this was not factored in. At the same time, we must also acknowledge that there's a lot of people that have come hoping to get a glimpse of their superstar turned politician, but unfortunately not all of them are going to go home tonight. That's the sad reality of this, because they came anticipating to get a glimpse of their star, and tonight they won't be going home. That's the sad part that many families have to contend with. In fact, heartbreaking scenes we're given to understand unfolding at several hospitals in Karur, because family members unaware of where their loved ones are. In certain cases, the casualties are very young children. In certain cases, senior citizens. So absolutely heartrending situation there, Mohammed.
Indeed, it is a heartrending situation indeed. Now, Siddharth, you mentioned that people had come from different areas. Now, according to reports that are coming in, many of the people had started gathering right from the morning. So it was many hours that they'd been waiting for to try and get a glimpse of the superstar turned politician. Have you heard from Vijay so far in the aftermath of this tragedy? Because these were people, his supporters, his fans who had come to see him, which has ended up in this tragedy. Has Vijay spoken about this tragedy so far?
As far as what we've come across so far, Vijay has not responded to or reacted to the situation that has unfolded. Of course, we're expecting something that will come from his party, Tamilnaga Vetri Kazhagam, or either directly from his social media handles. But at this point of time, if we're given to understand how situation is unfolding, no, there has not been any official reaction that has come from either the active politician or his party or their officials as such. But of course, the entire political spectrum, right from Prime Minister Modi to Chief Minister Stalin to Tamil Nadu's opposition leader Edappadi Swami, across the political spectrum, people have reacted to this kind of tragedy. So far, there's nothing that's come from Vijay or his political party, but we'll have to wait to see how they're going to react to this moment.
Indeed. Do continue to stay with us, Siddharth. Now, in the meanwhile, we are told that Rajnikant, another Tamil superstar, he has, of course, put out a post on the social media platform X, where he said, and I quote Rajnikant here, "The news of the loss of innocent lives in the incident that happened in Karur shakes the heart and has caused immense grief. My deepest condolences to the families of those who ended up losing their lives and comfort to those who are injured." This is what Rajnikant has put out as a tweet a little while back on social media. And these are some of the scenes from the area where people who've sustained injuries and who ended up losing their lives, their bodies being taken away. And this is where the stampede happened. The crush of the people was such that many of the workers, especially the young children and the elderly, they fainted And we still do not know as to what the final death toll could be, because a little while back the death toll that had come in was 10 and now it's gone up to 30. We still do not know as to how many people have been taken to hospitals, how many people ended up fainting, because this was a massive, massive political rally. The estimates that were made of the number of people who would come and gather and congregate to get a glimpse of Vijay simply did not match the number of people who indeed turned up to try and get a glimpse of Vijay. Because remember, many of those people had been waiting for several hours since this morning in a bid to try and get a glimpse of the superstar. And also the Indian Prime Minister has put out this post on social media platform X, where he has said, and I quote him here, the incident during the political rally in Karur in Tamil Nadu So this is what the Indian Prime Minister has put out on the social media platform X. The unfortunate incident during a political rally in Karur in Tamil Nadu is deeply saddening. My thoughts are with the families who've lost their loved ones, wishing strength to them in this difficult time and praying for a swift recovery to those who've sustained injuries. And also the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has also put out a message on social media calling the reports from Karur to be deeply distressing. He has said that he's instructed the officials in the district to provide immediate medical attention to those who are affected. The Stalin has further added that he had spoken with Senthil Balaji, the Health Minister Subramanian, and the district collector and the senior police officials there. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.